last time, Sora, Luffy, and the others gained a new crewmate named Brooke. And they found Donald too. Now they're a few steps closer to finding the One Piece as they find new information. What it connects to Gold Roger and Kingdom Hearts. What is it? We'll find out. Hi, my name is Nairo, second fan in Kentucky,
I'm Venus Diaz.
and welcome to another edition of Kingdom Hearts and One Piece. This time we're doing from Sabaody to Impel down to Marineford, and if we have time, post Saba, return to Sabaody. Um, Here's how we start with this. Um, I think it's where Do you remember how it started?
I think they ran into Kami
Yeah, Kami, and when they read it, the
where they meet
King.
Duval.
What?
They met Duval
Yeah,
and Hachi.
yeah, and something unexpected. They saw Donald and Mickey and Kyrie and hear a familiar. Oh, yuck! Gosh, not to. Wait a minute. Goofy? They see Goofy was in the net. And Goofy, how are you doing? Sora? Your Majesty! Kyrie! Donald! Hey, why did you say my name last? He ignores them. They hug. And 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 when they met Kami and Pagago, and when and Pagago is the when they see Pagago, Sora asks, "Are you friends with a with a sponge and squid?" Like Pagago's
Hot
like, "What?"
girl.
Okay. And then they find out about Hachi, and Luffy refuses to help him because he was part of Arlong's crew. He hates Arlong for what he did, and
Yeah.
I and I believe and I believe what happens. What happens next is
Yeah,
Hachi asking,
then confronting Duval and his.
"Yeah, when they see Deval, Sora will quip. Hey, Sanji, I think I found your long lost twin brother." And,
Even funnier what we know later.
yeah, I know. Does it think that he thinks he cute? Um, he
I've been
blames
hounded by the Marines and the Navy thinking I'm you.
and and just and Sanji orders to attack while Luffy saves him, and then Kyrie helps out with Sanji, and of course of course he does that love thing with Kyrie, and
Oh, Kyrie, my love.
and and Sora punches him. And then Hachi apologized for what. After that, I believe
Well, after Sanji restructured Duval's face.
Yeah. And after that, they arrive at Sabaody and they explain what happened about the world government teaming up with the Heartless. And it's sources. I know Maleficent. Goofy, have you seen anybody? Then Sora asks, Goofy, have you seen anybody else since? Of course, no. I mean, so far I've been here for like, of course, I don't know how many. How long have we been separated? How long have we been separated, Your Majesty? Do you know? Gosh, I don't know. We never, we never lost. We never have track of time. And Sora shrugged and said, "Well, since we're here, we might as well go shopping anyway."
They're
And
at the archipelago, and Tachi's explaining everything to them.
yeah,
And especially warns them about the celestial dragons.
yeah. Are they? And Sora asks, "Are they connected with the Heartless?"
Not really, but I'd still steer clear of them if you ever see them. You really don't want to get in their way. No, and
It's,
don't do anything no matter how bad it looks.
but we can take care of these guys. Well, I'm
No,
after
seriously, you do not want to do that. They're
Hachi.
untouchable, basically.
Hachi, I fought. I fought. You ever heard of Xehanort? Well, yes, I have. He said, "I
But these guys are high-ranking nobles who will basically be a burden on you, and no matter what, if you do anything to them.
okay. We won't. We promise we won't do anything."
That Haji turns down, especially you, Duck.
Hey!
My point exactly with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We just love making Donald the butt monkey. Like, not like Sanji, but he's still the
Yeah, but
butt monkey.
knowing Donald, he'd try to attack a celestial dragon.
Yeah,
See, while they're exploring, they meet Shaki, I think, or they're going around and they meet the other of the worst generation people.
yes,
At least we're seeing them. I don't know, because I don't think Luffy and the others find out until Shaki tells them.
yeah. I think you're right.
If I'm remembering this right.
Yeah, she's yeah. She's been following. She said she's been following the Straw Hats, and she knows about the Keyblade. She says my husband worked with the Gold Roger. Go. My husband worked with teamed up with the Keyblade wielder one time. He he doesn't reveal who he is. But
Would you be surprised to see Mickey again?
yeah, she's like, oh, Mickey. Oh, Shaky.
Oh, Luffy! Nice to see you.
Wait, you know her, Your Majesty?
Right, I do. Is Rayleigh here? He should be around here somewhere. You know him.
Yeah. Who's this Rayleigh?
He was the first mate on Roger's crew on the Oro Jackson.
No
One of the
way!
last surviving members of the Gold Roger pirates.
No way! So he's like Zoro?
In a way, yes, but has better sense of direction.
Hey! Says Zoro. It's back when Mickey grills you.
Yeah. Who's gonna look for you? Then she explained about the other worst generation.
Yeah.
You and your friend Sora there would be in that category, given your bounties.
Really? They fear us that much? Asked Sora. And
I don't
I can see.
know hard to say, but their bounties are as high as yours. So you guys might top them next to one other or two. I forget who's got the bigger bounty, Law or Kid.
I
I
think.
forget.
I think the kid did. I
Yeah,
don't.
Kid and Luffy might have had the highest ones.
Yeah. And then I believe they went out to look for Rayleigh.
Yeah, to get their ship coated.
Yeah.
While Cammy was being watched by others.
Yeah. Kami got kidnapped. Right?
So, yeah, because he was with Chopper and I think Brooke at the amusement park.
Yeah. And Kyrie will shop with Nami and Robin.
Yeah.
And Nami finds out that some of the fishermen were slaves. And she's starting to have some sympathy because she knows not every fisherman is like Arlong.
Yeah, she found that out with Jinbei and Hachi.
Yeah.
Honestly, Hachi is probably the nicest of Arlong's whole crew.
Yeah.
Given that flashback with Koala.
Yeah. But we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
And Sora decided to take a break and he sees someone right. Hey, who are you? Oh, hello. My name is Mahashi Kishimoto. And would you like to read this book? What is it? It's about this boy and a ninja. Wait, I read this before. Are you? You're selling this?
Go away.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't want to read the boy about the boy falling in love with a girl when he gets you. God, who is stupid enough to read those? Then we hear Naruhito fans getting angry at him. And
Yeah, rant all you want. It's not going to change.
yeah, then they say, "Get him!" And Sora sided and summon lightning and struck all the Naruhito fanboys.
Either that or he just randomly unlocked his Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah, and he didn't realize it.
So Cloud kind of noticed it. Like, what did you just do? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we haven't met Cloud yet. He's
We haven't.
no. Did I?
No.
Because
Unless Mickey was with him.
We'll see him in Impel Down, okay?
Unless Mickey was with him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Mickey and Sora interact enough.
Yeah.
Like,
we need to have Sora Mickey. We need to have Sora Mickey moment.
Sora, did you just? What did I do? And unreal. You have it.
What?
do I have, Your Majesty? Maybe not good time to tell you right now. Holding things for me again?
Yeah, you wouldn't tell me things about Riku, but
Then you kept Aqua a secret this whole time.
Tell me, what is it?
I'm not the best person. Once we find Rayleigh, he'll tell you.
Fine.
He has this too.
Fine. Then he said, "Have you ever told you about the first ever Keyblade wielder?" Who? What's his name? Walt Disney.
Disney.
So, and Sora says, for some reason, that name makes me feel happy, and he has that way with a lot of people. Before he becomes a Keyblade wielder, he was a struggling artist, but he never gave up on his dreams.
He was a paramedic in the war.
Yeah. Then he
At least
became
an ambulance driver, I think.
what?
I think he was an ambulance driver.
Yeah, he was that before he became an artist. I
I
didn't know that.
but I did something in school or on him, and I think that's what he was.
Yeah, that's. I did not know that. I learned something today. Anyway, then one day he felt something in his heart, and he wheeled the. He was the first. He met somebody in the world of light. And then he said that Kingdom Hearts summoned him somehow. He, he was asked to be the first ever Keyblade wielder. And then he said, "You must train people with strong heart, pure strong heart, with Keyblades." I know it sounds. I know it sounds stupid, but it's as far as Kingdom Hearts go, it's simple compared to what Kingdom.
Hmm.
What does he have to do with the One Piece? What? Or actually, Soras, what does he have to do with the? What does Kingdom Hearts have to do with One Piece? I'm sorry, that's all I know. Uh, are we gonna? Are we gonna have to go through another journey to find out what Kingdom Hearts and One Piece is? If you don't
We
know what
already
it,
did enough of that with Xehanort, which led us to here.
yeah. Um, we, I believe next this Cammy gets kidnapped, and Frank. We'll have Frankie call the gang, and they said they got kidnapped.
Technically, it was Chopper and Brooke that were with her when she got taken.
Yeah.
Like, why is that relaxed? They have to come here anyway, so let's just relax for now.
Hmm. Yeah, and I believe next is when they go to the auction.
Yes, that's where it mainly is.
Yeah, and it was. Do I have some? Here's one auction. They auction off
They're
humans.
bidding, then in the background, we also see Rayleigh's there.
Yeah, and the first before they do gaming, we're gonna make one more joke. This time, they're auctioning off. I'm thinking of what cameo would be a good character to auction off to. That
I'm
would
not
how about
sure.
huh?
I'm not sure.
How about how about no, not Ray from the Star Wars sequels because she's too good. Or I
She
mean,
fetched a high price with her abilities.
yeah,
Surprised the government wouldn't want her.
yeah. How about Ahsoka? No, not Ahsoka. Because if I was gonna include her, she'd be part of the story, and have no plans with her.
Right.
We'll just go with Kami for now, okay?
All right.
We'll go to the Kami, and Nami bids
But then
her.
that celestial dragon bids higher.
Yeah,
But then Hachi runs down and gets exposed as a fishman. He
yeah,
gets
and they all judge him, and
shot by
Sora,
Charlos.
yeah, and Sora stands in front of Hachi and said, "Have you no shame? This this guy is trying to redeem himself. He's trying to prove that not all fishermen are evil." Just the,
Charlos isn't gonna care. He just aims the gun at Sora.
and Sora said, "I got shot at before."
Tit was nothing. But then
Yeah,
Luffy just goes up and just decks Charles in the face.
yeah, and Nami went down to check on Hachi. It's a it was
While the
growing.
other kid noticed it, was wondering what Luffy is shocked by what Luffy did.
Yeah, and then that's where Sora meets Law. And what kind of relationship do you think Sora have with Law?
Well, I don't think he's gonna really meet him until after they go outside to deal with the Marines.
Yeah, could he see Law knowing about the Keyblade though?
He's probably heard like stories about it. I mean,
Yeah,
kids probably heard stuff about it.
yeah,
Oh, so that Brett there is a Keyblade. Interesting. So that's what they look like.
yeah. And he said, "Do you think I could?" Then he said, "Ask Sora, you think I can have one?" Sorry, it only chooses.
Sorry, they're picky about their wielders.
Yep. And it chooses who has the strongest heart. And I doubt you have a strong heart. And he said, "You got me there."
Is he talking to Law about that?
Yeah,
I guess where Rayleigh shows up.
yep.
Like,
And he does the
Rayleigh. Then he like flares his hockey, knocks pretty much everybody out.
yeah. And
Wow.
Mickey says, "Really?
Rayleigh!
Ah,
Oh, Mickey!
my old friend." They will they shake each other's
Hey,
hand or
first,
hug?
could you help up? You help this mermaid out in that collar? Yeah, no problem. Give me a second. And then he gets the collar off.
Yeah,
Whoa, how did he do that? Oh, you guys might want to. We'll have some company here soon. Then Luffy, Sora, and Law and Kid go out and deal with the Marines.
yeah. And would would Kyrie join or would she stay with Nami
She's
and
staying with
Robin?
Nami.
Yeah, because they're best. Of course, you know they're best friends in this world.
Plus, she knows those four can handle it.
Yeah,
They see what Law and Kid can do.
yeah. It's Donald Goofy joins Sora, and it's just like old times.
Who?
And Sora, Sora.
I mean, Law wouldn't question a talking dog and Doug since he's got a talking polar bear on his crew.
No. I always said this about Kingdom Hearts. Why they don't question things? It's Disney. They don't have to explain it.
In One Piece, it makes sense since there's already a race of talking animals, so it's an everyday thing.
Yeah. And Goofy does the spit while Donald throws thunders up.
Well, Law is hacking and rearranging body parts.
Yeah. I just figured something out. If I ever have Donald Goofy switch part of the switch with Law, here's a want me to tell you now or wait till we get to Punk Hazard?
If you want to tell me now, tell me.
Okay. Don't I think I'll have Donald switch with Riku and Goofy switch with Kairi. Well, Kairi is in Riku's body, and Riku is in Donald's body. Imagine
Riku's gonna try to beat the shit out of Law after that.
Yeah. And imagine Sora about to kiss Kairi and
Yo, Sora, no, not Kyrie. Wait, what? Goofy, what are you doing in Kyrie? Law did so. Law switched us somehow. Then where's Kyrie?
I'm in here, Sora. I just and Sora when he sees Donald with Kairi's voice, I don't think I'm gonna get that image out of my head anytime soon.
No, it's burned in there.
Anyway, back to the story. We meet this.
I think they're back after that. They're back at Shocky's bar with Rayleigh and saying he'd coat the ship and telling him about he knows where the One Piece is.
Yeah, and he also knows what Kingdom. Would he also know what Kingdom Hearts is too?
I guess.
I can see this. I also know what Kingdom Hearts is. Do you want to know? And
Sora goes, no.
What, Sword? If we don't know what Kingdom Hearts is, the villains will. And exactly. The villain. No, you're wrong. The villains. If the villains could be listening to us right now, and if they find out what Kingdom Hearts is, they will too. And Vicky was like, "You're right. It's best that we find out on our own."
Oh, I can see me go, by the way, Rayleigh, my friend Sora there has the you know what. Oh, he does he? Maybe let's chat with him.
Yeah, and they chat with
And that
Sora.
Luffy boy, too. I have noticed that.
Yeah, and then he tells them about hockey.
At least he tells Sora. Luffy doesn't know about it yet. Since
Yeah, he said, "Really? I have that? Does do you know if Luffy has it?" Yeah.
yes, I can tell he's very special. He just doesn't know he has it yet.
I have a question. I have another question. Did Gold Rogers have a Keyblade wielder as a friend like Luffy's mine? Here's how I think I'll have. Yes, his name was Ericus. What? I can see Ericus knowing Gold Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, they shipped together for a long time. And when Ericus found out Rogers died, he felt awful about it and wished he saved him. But Roger always told me he wanted to get caught. He told the story of how he wanted to get caught because he was sick.
Hmm.
That's how it happened, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and Rogers was caught by Garp, right?
Yes. Pretty sure that's who caught him.
Yeah,
Since he's the one who asked Garp to raise Ace.
yeah. And you know how Usopp was apologized for his action. He said, "I'm so you're probably right. It's best we don't know that where the One Piece of Kingdom Hearts is." And then they gave each other, and then they decided to leave. To leave, they will have their ship coded in 3 days. And Shaky gave each member a Viva card so they can make their way back to Rayleigh. And then I guess this is when it
When the
hits.
pacifistas show up.
Yep. From Kizaru to
Yeah,
Kuma.
Kizaru and Sentamaru show up.
Yeah. And they attack.
Because you also see the other worst generation fighting them.
Yeah. And then, and then what happened?
The Straw Hats meet them and are hardly holding their own.
Yeah, and I believe Kuma shows up.
He shows up after they destroyed one of them and Sentamaru and Kizaru.
Yeah.
And then Rayleigh shows up and stopped them. Or at least tried to.
Yeah. And it was a tough battle. And Sora tries to beat Kuma, but he was too strong. So, I defeated Xehanort. How could this guy be stronger than him? It's like
He's not
facing.
human.
And then
Oh, I'm a pawpaw man. You should have known that back in Thriller Bark.
yeah, and I believe this is the part where he divides the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
And first he got rid of Zoro, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was Zoro.
Zoro, you bastard! And, and Zoro and Mickey first.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Then I believe who you get rid of next? I think
I forget.
Was it Saji?
It might have been.
But then But then he got rid of Usopp.
And I think Brooke.
Usopp and Goofy, then Brooke. And then Frankie.
It was Nami and then Donald.
Donald went with Nami and Nami!
I think Robin was the last one. Robin and Kyrie would be the last ones.
Kyrie! No! And Sword fell down on his knees and he said, "Ah!"
He has had that breakdown from 3 again.
Yeah. And then he's you bastard! You took away my friends and my girlfriend. Then he starts crying, and Luffy tries to protect. Luffy just tries to save him, but they ended up in.
They both got teleported away.
Yep. And Maleficent sees. What would Maleficent think when she sees it?
Not sure.
She would probably. Fortunately, they know where the. She would think they know where the One Piece is. And later on, about 3 days later, I believe, or a day later.
Naruto and Sora and Luffy were flying in the air for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So they landed on this one.
I just had to bounce.
This one island.
What?
They landed on this one island.
So, wake up, Luffy! Wake up! Wake up! Sora? Oh, thank God you're okay. Where are we? We're at this island, I think. Oh, well, let's check your Viva cards. Oh, they're alive. And Sora finds out something. I think he then feels his hunger. And Luffy says, "Hey, there's a mushroom." And he tries to eat it, I believe.
Yeah,
then it gets.
They both do that.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of those like Amazon show up and start pulling them all.
Yeah.
And noticing what they think is a mushroom between their legs.
Yeah, and then a boar shows up and Sora says, "Well, I'm hungry. I can take down these boar." And then with that, he kills the boar, and then and then he notices something. He sees a Sabaody gem. He said, "What's this summoning gem?" Then Heartless shows up and gets ran out to find it. What would good summoning here be?
Leviathan?
I think so.
I mean, they're in the sea, and that's pretty much its domain.
Yeah, and then and after that, and they took care of the Heartless, and suddenly they get surrounded by, and Sora fell down unconscious with Luffy, and then they were surrounded by women, by three women, and I believe they went to the prison in there. And Sora
Well,
like
after
woke
they
up.
unknowingly were trying to get rid of their junks,
Yeah,
the
and
one says, "That's it, they're men."
Sora's like, "Whoa, I'm Nick and Luffy, wait." They looked at Luffy. He didn't want to see Luffy naked. Sora,
Yeah,
wait.
those are my jewels. And another winner staring at their jewels.
Yeah. Then he said, "Good thing I'm not. Good thing Sanji isn't here."
Yeah,
Although otherwise, he would probably be in here for the rest of his life.
assuming they don't kill him.
Yeah. And then I believe they Sora brings out his Keyblade and they escape. And they
After getting some clothes.
yeah, so they didn't. Sora finally found his clothes and gives it to Luffy, and he said, "Nami's sure nicer than him." And he speaks back to Nami, saying, "Again, maybe not." And Sora said, "And you're in love with her?" Yeah. Hey, hey. And then they meet the Snake Sisters, I believe.
I think they were running around being chased by the Amazons well before Boa came back.
Yeah, when Boa sees both of them, she would try to seduce them, but both Sora and Naruto doesn't phase. What? You turned out a beautiful woman like me? And Sora said, you're pretty, but only one woman can tame me." What? Who dares? Who is this one woman? I ask. Her name is Kyrie, and she's a prince, and she's a princess of heart. And then said, "How dare you? How dare you say I'm not beautiful?"
And she's in that pose with like her head tilted back.
And said, and Sora says, "That is so weird."
You're not. What are you looking at?
Yeah, and then they brought to the arena, and Sora and Luffy try to explain, but they don't believe him. And Marguerite speak out to spare Luffy, and she was the one. And then she turned the sisters into stone, I believe.
At least the ones that helped him. And then Sora and Luffy use their Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah.
No way! They have.
Yeah, and then she finally sees his Keyblade. She said, "The Keyblade exists?" Because I can see how Hancock knowing about the Keyblade.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then Luffy goes into Gear 2. And defeats the sisters. And then they meet, and they meet Boa again, and when and I believe this is the part where she falls in love with Luffy, and when Sora finds that out, and he asks,
I mean,
yeah,
after they crash into the bathhouse with Boa
yeah,
and seeing her the brand on her back.
yeah, the mark of the celestial dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and then he asks, have the Heartless ever, the heart, those dark creatures, the Heartless, have they shown up just recently? And she said, yeah, they've been a problem. I was asked to, I was asked to control them, but I didn't want to for some. And then
Wait,
when he
why?
found that she,
You don't know. I'm one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
yeah, and when he found out she has a crush on Luffy, Sword throws up.
I mean, you're old enough to be his mom. And I think she's like 20 years older than Luffy.
Yeah, which like, which if the genders were reversed, people will find it creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe this is when they found out about Ace being in prison.
Well, after Boa starts treating them better.
Yeah, and then she asked, "Tell me about your friends, guys." Well, Sword Sword talks to them about was the first to say, "Well, there's Kyrie," and well, I'm don't don't. Oh, wait. Speaking of Kyrie, Luffy, I gotta show you something. What is it, Sora? Look, it was a ring. What? You're giving a ring to Kyrie? Not just that. I'm gonna marry her. Really? That's so cool. Yeah, can I be the one to marry you guys? No. If we get married, I'm gonna ask the king to judge our wedding. Because I've seen a lot of fanfics where Mickey officiates their wedding.
Yeah, I could see
So,
that.
yeah, and if I don't find Riku before the wedding, I want you to be my best man. What would Luffy say to that?
He'd accept.
Yeah, and then he and then he talked about Zoro, Sandy. He said they have a rivalry with each other, but deep down they care about each other. They may not admit it, but they see each other as friends. And then there's Brook. He's a skeleton, but he's a nice guy. And Chopper's the greatest doctor. And Donald, and let me tell you about Donald and Goofy. They're like Zoro and Sanji in a way, only they don't fight as much. And there's Robin. Oh, you mean she's a girl? And Nami, and and I believe I he may not know it yet, but I believe Luffy's in love. Why? What? Then she gets all dejected when she heard that.
Hmm.
It's a. I look in his heart, and and then they relax, and Sora reads the newspaper, and Luffy, look,
Oh, my brother.
yeah, and look who's else in the. Not, no, actually, he wouldn't know about Cloud just yet. Okay,
Okay.
because I want him to be surprised Cloud is there. And meanwhile, let's go. Let's see what the others are doing. First, First is Nami and Donald. Nami wakes up and she she finds herself in some kind of sky island. Then she said, "Oh, bye." we saw you. You've been lying there for 3 days." And then she hits him, and she there, up there. And just where are we? And then she finds herself surrounded. Then she wakes up Donald. Heartless. And then she finds her and Donald be surrounded, and suddenly something magical happened to Nami.
Hmm.
She felt something come to her hand, and it was a keyblade. What? Nami, you grabbed the keyblade. What would Nami think about that?
Like, what?
Then she wasted no time in fighting. And she didn't do too bad on the first try with the keyblade.
For being self-taught.
Yeah. And after that battle, Donald says, "Hey, this looks familiar." Then he hears, "Why, my boy?" He turns around and it's Merlin. Merlin?
Oh, my good boy, Donald. How are you?
What happened? What happened to you, Donald? Where's Sora? And
We got separated.
yeah, and
Merlin, wait. My friend here has a... Oh, she does she?
yeah.
Yeah, would you be mind in showing it to me?
And then what would her keyblade be like? Tangerine?
Oh, no.
Shaped like a tangerine or something? Or money?
Money maybe. But what stats would it have?
I would say it'd be the strongest magical keyblade. But
So high magic and
low in
base
strength.
strength.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like what, 7 magic, 3 strength maybe?
Yeah.
I feel that's a good enough stat for a keyblade like that.
Yeah. And then he said,
Would it have any extra like abilities?
yeah.
You know, like with keyblades, they have abilities.
Yeah. Let's just say her abilities are similar to what she'll learn in
I mean, like, does it have like a combo boost or like a magic boost or
magic boost? And it's a special kind of keyblade, one that teaches weather.
Would she have that instead of her climb attack weapons?
Yes.
Or maybe she has both.
Maybe both.
I'm guessing Merlin stays and actually trains her this time.
Yeah, and he said also he offers to train you, and Nami says, "I don't know. I heard you didn't train Kyrie good," and Merlin says he regrets that.
I do. We were very short on time, but now we have more time than ever. Especially with what I'm going to put up with. You can train as much as you want with no time passing.
And Nami looks at Donald, who nods and said, "All right, I'll do it."
For Kyrie and for my crew.
Yeah. Then she looks back at Luffy and Kyrie and Sora. Those two are her best friends in the Straw Hats. Meanwhile, Frankie finds himself in the Winter Island, and it plays out like in the anime.
Where he's the gentleman because of the tea.
Yes. And
So
Sanji,
the tea gets all boiled up and it turns into, I assume, cola.
yeah, and Sanji finds himself in in the
And Ivankov's island.
yeah, where he thought he was a hot chick.
I am in hell.
And Usopp and Goofy finds himself in some sort of
This
forest.
island's trying to eat us? Gosh.
Yeah.
Made that um beetle knight. Go for in!
Yeah. And then
Usopp, I think you're eating too much. Nonsense. Usopp gets all fat.
yeah, and then eats ramen and says, I can see why Naruto like who's Naruto?
Yolk?
Hmm. Ah, you know, I don't know. Let's just say he's a best-selling manga that ended on a low note.
Very, very low note. And Brooks with that one cult.
Yeah, yeah, and
Meanwhile, Zoro's with Mickey on his island, those baboons.
yeah, and they meet Perona and
Hey, you're a chick from Moria's crew. Well, Kuma sent me here.
he must have sent us here too.
I wonder why. Gosh, I have a feeling I'm going to be trying to find you all the time, Zoro.
Yeah, and I believe that's when they met Mihawk.
They don't meet Mihawk till after Ace's death
Okay, we'll say that.
because
And
the warlords are called to Marineford.
yeah, next is Garp visiting Ace.
Then Robin and Kyrie end up at Tequila Wolf
Yeah, yeah, and
and are pretty much made to work.
yeah, and Kyrie said, "Oh no, oh no, what is it? My lucky charm." She dropped her lucky charm. What she doesn't know is that it fell in Sora. It fell in Sora's pocket.
Hmm. What do you think it might be?
Then she said,
Might be with Sora. Then if it is, I know I'll get it back.
"Yeah." And Robin says, you love Sora very much." And
Right?
yes,
No point in hiding it.
of course they're dating in this version.
Yeah.
And she said, "And you want Sora to marry you, don't you?" That's it. It's okay.
Should Kyrie's Keyblade turn into Oathkeeper?
Well, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have her lucky charm, so no.
Yeah, maybe Sora can have Oathkeeper as like a secondary Keyblade.
Yeah.
Because I
And then
love Kyrie to have Oathkeeper because that's a fitting Keyblade for her.
yeah.
Imagine
Meanwhile,
Sakura with Oathkeeper.
what?
Imagine Sakura with Oathkeeper.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at Marineford, um, Gart visits Ace at Impel Downing. He says that he's disappointed that Luffy and Ace turned into piracy when he wished them to be Marines. And then Ace said it doesn't matter because I have my dad was Gold Rogers, but he's not my father. Whitebeard is.
Whitebeard is my real father.
That he,
Imagine being on the Whitebeard Pirates was a good crew to be on.
yeah, yeah, and then what he doesn't know is then he looks over at his cellmate.
This is Jinbei.
Yep, and here's a twist. Another one. It's Cloud. Yep, Cloud's his cellmate, but unlike he, here's what happened. How he got cut. They saw him fighting against the Heartless, and they asked him, and they didn't like it, so they had him arrested because Marines are controlling the Heartless.
Yeah. Also, he might have got a whiff of Sephiroth there.
Yep. Speaking of Sephiroth,
He's gonna be like one of the main villains of this, isn't he?
yes, he is.
Like of this series, not just this arc.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Sephiroth one of the main villains. Like up there
Is he
with.
gonna get defeated in Wano?
Yeah, we'll see. But he's gonna be one of the main villains here.
Does he show up a lot, or is he just gonna be used sparingly?
In Marineford, he'll show up a lot, and
I'm guessing is he an emperor?
yes. How about we make Sephiroth an emperor?
He's strong enough to be an emperor.
Yeah, should we make him the strongest emperor?
I don't know. With power scaling with Kaido and Big Mom, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sephiroth, so he's probably stronger, but it's kind of hard judging.
Yeah. Well, then we see Buggy the
Even
Clown.
Mihawk would be afraid of Sephiroth.
Yes, even Mihawk fears Sephiroth. Only two people that are not scared of Sephiroth: Sora and Cloud.
Wow, he even scares Doflamingo.
Yes. That's how strong Sephiroth is. What were you doing? Oh yeah.
Should we add Garland into this too?
Garland?
Yeah, from Final Fantasy 1.
I don't know much about him, so probably not.
Maybe later, like one of the later arcs.
I would use Kefka, but we already have a clown, Buggy.
Kefka would just end Buggy right there.
Yeah.
I don't like your tone.
Yeah. Who is the weakest emperor? And I watched the live action One Piece last week. He still reminds me of Heath Ledger. Is the live action Buggy?
I mean, that version acts crazy like Heath Ledger, so it makes sense. Honestly, yeah. I think I like the live action more than the anime version.
Yeah, and you know what's sad? His version of Buggy is still a better Joker than Jared Leto.
At least the live action actually embraces the insanity.
Yes.
Because you just have the guys having a total ball being Buggy there.
Yeah.
The Chop Chop Brute, actually.
Meanwhile,
slice me and dice me all you want.
Yeah, that was a great line. Anyway, Sora.
Is it really like the over the top psychopath performances are like the most memorable?
Yeah. Yeah. Next is Luffy, Sora, and Hancock left Amazon Lily, and they reached the prison. And
she's sneaking them both into Marineford.
Yeah, and they both hide in their robe.
Bring Impel down.
Or Impel down, I mean. And they'll sneak in, and she's in a room where they get searched, and she freezes them.
Good. Now you two are going to be on your own for this.
Yeah. And Sora said, good thing I don't have devil fruit powers.
So this won't affect me, and I can still swim.
Yeah, and
But be warned, it might be crawling with Heartless.
yeah, and Sora says, you know what? I just realized something. Since there's Heartless, where are the nobodies? I know Zemnis is gone, but still,
Even after he was gone, they were still showed up.
yeah. How come they don't use nobodies?
So how gone was he really after 2?
I don't know.
See,
Anyway,
so now I've gone cross-eyed.
I suggest you don't. And yeah, and Sora goes through all the cells and look for Ace with Luffy.
Where would he be? Probably. They run a buggy. Like, where's
Yeah,
Ace? He'd be on the lowest level. Level 6.
wait, should he be on the highest level since he's one of the strong? Since he's probably the strongest prisoner here. Hey,
No,
I'm playing strong. I can see Buggy saying, "Hey, I'm playing strong. Oh, please, I kick your. I kicked your. Kyrie can kick your
I
butt."
can kick your ass.
Yeah, and then he said, "I know where Ace is, but you have to let me escape." And Sora says, "Hey,
Whatever.
he doesn't like letting out bad guys, but he has no choice."
And Luffy also opens up that armband he's got.
Yeah, and he said, "No, wait, Nami gave it. He didn't want to give it because Nami gave it to him."
She'll understand.
Yeah, this is for. What would she rather have? That bracelet you have, or her future brother-in-law? Wait, what? Sorry, sorry, that was a joke.
Hmm.
And then they meet Mr. 3, and when Mr. 3 sees Sora, he's like, "Ah, get away from me!" He's scared of Sora, so he beat him up.
Good. Now, good. We have another member for this. Now you're gonna help us, or so help me. You're gonna have worse beating than last time. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I love having him be afraid of Sora.
Like Brule is with Ghost Rider.
Yeah, yeah. And he does an evil smirk, and the smirk makes him look like
I
Vanitas.
feel like he'd do a Vanitas smirk.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he will show up in Marine form.
In here?
Yeah. Yes. In fact, he's watching. He's watching from the monitors.
Because getting he
Sora?
sends on Verse.
Yeah. But sources
What are
when
these? Unversed.
then he realized, oh, Vanitas. He's alive. And Luffy asks, "Who's this Vanitas?" Oh, you'll see when he comes.
And don't think he's me, because you'll be shocked, but don't think it's not what you think.
Well, ask Luffy. Then,
Because you know he'd call Vanitas Sora.
yeah, that would be funny.
I mean,
That would be funny
he
running
calls
gag.
Kaku Usopp.
What?
He calls Kaku Usopp.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you just call me Usopp again?
Yeah. And when they make it to level 3, and
So
I believe,
need Bon Clay.
yeah, and what did Sora think of Bon Clay?
He was indifferent, I
I think he
think.
was. Yeah, wait till he meets Ivanka.
Yeah. I swear I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, especially when he sees Ivanka's devil fruit powers.
Yeah, it turns that one guy into a hot chick.
But yeah, and what was and source? I've seen it. It's a please don't
I'd
turn me
be
into a hot.
shocked, but I've seen weirder.
Yeah, yeah, and they took care of that guy, but Luffy had to use his Gear 3.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
Yeah, and he faced Magellan, I believe his name.
Magellan.
Magellan. Would Magellan team up with Vanitas, or should we wait to level 4?
Wait,
Yeah, I'm gonna have him replace one of the villains from the
the
from level.
level 4 is the frozen tundra, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll have him meet Sora there, and imagine imagine Sora versus Vanitas. Sora and Luffy versus Vanitas.
Well, Luffy's kind of indisposed due to Magellan's poison.
Yeah. How come it doesn't hit Sora? He uses Reflect a lot.
Yeah, he still has that.
Yeah. And Sora said, "Come on, somebody help
I
me!"
stocked up on antidotes.
Yeah. Then he tries to.
Drink, damn you, drink!
Then reach the level 5. And that's where they meet Ivanka. And you know that.
Where am I? The boss wants to see you two. Huh? The Sora woke up with Bon Clay there.
Yeah. And then he meets Ivanka, and Ivanka says,
Like,
"How
what
about
the? That is a big head. Don't mention his head.
okay?" They then he sings, "I'm just a sweet transvestite from Transylvania."
Yeah,
Sorry,
clearly it was a Rocky Horror Picture Show inspire.
yeah, I had to do it because he reminded me of Tim Curry.
It's basically a Tim Curry character.
Yeah, and said, "I just." He reminds me of that one guy, and Sora said, "Oh, I don't know, but luckily he's not that killer clown." But
Come on, bucko.
yeah, and then can you suck all the poison off of Luffy? Yes, but it'll take away his lifespan. And then Luffy wakes up.
But right before he does that, that one guy breaks in and Ivankov shows his power.
Yeah, and when Sora sees his power, he's like,
Oh,
"You're not gonna turn me into this chick, are you?"
yeah, don't cross me and I won't.
Okay, I won't. I won't. I
Sora
won't.
boy.
Thanks.
Then he's like healing Luffy and they're all doing, hang in there, straw boy.
And Sora cries while trying to save Luffy. He then looks at his ring again and said, "I want you to be there for me, Luffy."
Oh, what is that, Sora boy? An engagement ring?
Yes, it's to my girlfriend. Her name is Kyrie.
Oh, I think I've heard of her. A princess of heart, is she?
How do you know?
We have our ways over here, and my secret ally too.
Who's your secret ally?
I want not telling. He'll
He
find
looks at
out
him.
soon once he spills it to Luffy.
Yeah.
And then Luffy breaks down and wakes up
Yeah.
and agrees to get Ivankov to help.
Yeah, and I believe.
That my secret ally, Dragon of the Revolutionaries. Oh,
Wait,
him? Oh, you mean my dad? He's like,
it was like,
Dad?
yeah,
Dragon's your dad? Where are you?
wait,
The East Blue. Ooh.
dragons. Wait, dragons your secret ally? How does he know about Kyrie, the Princess of Hearts?
Oh, he knows a lot of that stuff, especially since he was there when Raja was killed.
Wow. Meanwhile, I believe at the top of the stairs, it's a Bo is there, and she tells him that Luffy is here, and he goes, Luffy and wait, and Cloud says, if Luffy's here, then he said, is another spiky haired kid with him? Yes.
Yes,
Then he
Sora,
then he
you're
smiles.
here.
Then he says, "Oh no,
Is
Sephiroth."
this where Ace is taken away?
Yeah, and Cloud
If
stays with
Cloud
Jinbei.
stays like, I can see, like, tell me, Cloud, who is this Sora boy? He's a friend of mine. He helped me when I needed it. There's one thing you can do is count on him, and I
Yeah,
shall.
because he's the Keyblade. He's the Keyblade's chosen one.
A Keyblade, huh? Just like the one on Roger's crew.
Wait, you know about the Keyblade?
A lot of people in this world do.
Then I guess the World Order thing is a bunch of bullshit.
It is, considering Cloud's already violating it right now and already did twice,
Yeah,
being in Olympus and Radiant Garden.
yeah,
Like, I see Jinbei asking, so who is this Sephiroth guy? He was someone I looked up to, a hero.
yeah.
But then he found out what he was and went nuts. Torched my home, killed my mom and my best friend's dad.
Your best friend's dad? You mean Tifa? I thought she was your girlfriend.
He also, my memory's a bit hazy, but here's something another friend of mine, Zach.
Oh,
I also remember getting stabbed by him, but I shrugged it off. But after that, it's kind of hazy. Something about experiments and a guy named Hojo.
then wait, Hojo. Did he know let's say Hojo knew Xehanort.
Not surprised.
Because Xehanort asked him to experiment on people. Because that's how evil Xehanort was.
Well, I'm just saying like stuff from the actual FF7 game because that's what happened.
Yeah, I know, and we could use Kingdom Hearts as well.
Yeah,
I could see Jinbei knowing about Xehanort too. He said Xehanort was one evil bastard.
and that minion of his is also here.
You mean wait? What minion?
The boy in the mask.
I doubt. Would Claude know about Vanitas?
He might. I mean, they probably filled him in.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what he looks like.
Well, no, he's got the mask on. The only one who's seen his face is Sora and Ven, and
Yeah.
really,
And meanwhile, back at the where Luffy and Sora is, Luffy.
they start fighting their way through the prison again to get to level 6.
Yeah, and it plays out like the anime.
And where they just miss Ace and they find Crocodile.
Yeah, and Sora was said.
I'm opposed to this, Luffy. Be that
Yeah,
as it may, Sora, we still need his help.
said
Because here you can see Luffy starting to somewhat act like a captain.
yeah.
Don't worry, sir. My interests are still mine. But
He said,
you need help, so I'm willing to offer it for now. And the chance to square up with Whitebeard. And don't worry, Zara boy. I'll keep him in check. Unless you want to know everyone to know your secret, croc old boy.
yeah, and Source,
I like to
Source
think
says,
that's hinting at the crocodile is Luffy's mom theory.
yeah, we're not doing that theory.
I know, until it's actually confirmed.
Yeah,
Because then they fight their way back up the levels and get Mr. One in.
yeah, they release Crocodile, and then Sora, and and then Sora, they reach the level, and Sora sees, when Sora sees Cloud, he's like, Cloud!
Sora!
And he unlocks it with the Keyblade, and he releases both Cloud and Jinbei.
Oh, marvelous power your Keyblade has, young one. Who are you? Jinbei, first son of the sea and former warlord. Allow me to take me with you. I can be a great ally to you.
Yeah.
You're a
Okay.
friend of Ace's? Yes.
Any friend of Ace is a friend of mine. You know why? In this version, do you know why Jinbei didn't want any part of the warlord? Because he didn't want to control the Heartless.
Yeah. I don't see Mihawk wanting to control the Heartless either.
Yeah, I don't see. Mihawk isn't evil. He's more of an
No, like
anti-hero.
Doflamingo Moria would do that.
Yeah.
But like Boa and like Mihawk and I think Kuma, they don't want that.
Yeah. And Smoker, he would refuse to use the Heartless.
I can see Aokiji refusing too.
Yeah.
Since he's
And I
like
said,
not really evil compared to the other two.
yeah. And the Buggy and Mr. 3, it all plays out like like the anime, and they finally escape, and
Mr. Two stays behind.
yeah, and Sora, when Sora hears his voice, he breaks down and cries. He didn't know him that long, but he thought he was a good guy. And then they fight Blackbeard, I believe.
Well, that's after they escape.
Yeah, they beat
Because he
Black.
showed up on the Inferno level.
Yeah, and and
I
then
never told you my name.
It's Blackbeard.
So now I should be going to Marineford in the ship.
Yeah, and want to ask, you want me to take care of them, sir? They ask Phineas, and Phineas says, "No, I've got
No, let them
this."
get there. So the Straw Hat can see his brother die before his very eyes.
And he can see, and I can see my brother.
But Ben's not here.
He sees Sora as his brother too. Since he
Like,
remember
wait,
he's
I can see like, no, brother. Wait, who? Me? But Ben's not here. I can see Sora say that to Vanitas.
yeah.
I mean, you make up part of me too, Sora.
Yeah. They finally reach Marineford.
I can see Vanitas showing up and he's like got a lot more muscle on him
Yeah.
from all the darkness he has.
Yeah. And he talks to, and he hears the transmitter snail from Akainu. It's like he He wants Ace executed and then Sora and Straw Hat. Oh, you just leave.
Wouldn't he tell Sengoku that?
What?
Wouldn't he tell Sengoku that?
Yeah, and he says, "You just leave." Yeah, you just leave Sengo to Ace to Zengo. I will deal with Straw Hat and Keyblade Wielder. It,
I guess he's Sephiroth. If he's got Cloud, let me deal with him.
then he said, Sephiroth, what are you doing here? I got a score to settle with Cloud. And then
You
they
have your reasons, I have mine. I'd
Yep.
love to see a fight between these two.
Vanitas and Sephiroth. That would be quite a battle.
Yeah. Especially if it's more powerful Vanitas.
In the Kingdom Hearts universe, I don't know.
Now this version where he's got like more power because he's probably got like Zenith powers with Ansem too.
Yeah.
I had the where's the both my master.
Yeah. And when they're on their way, Sora and Luffy and Cloud make their way. Then he said,
But Luffy asked Cloud to join his crew.
Yes, again. He keeps on asking him and says, maybe. And this time he said maybe. If I take care of Sephiroth.
No, you can still join, and if we encounter him more, you can still beat him then. Good point.
Then he said,
let's see how this plays out with your brother.
Okay, then suddenly Sephiroth shows up like he did in Cage with a.
I think he's just gonna bait Cloud to Marineford.
Yeah.
Considering how Luffy and the others show up to that.
Cloud can sense him.
Yeah, considering how Luffy arrived at Marineford, fall from the sky.
Yeah. And then when he finally sees him, they have a Cloud says, "You go help Luffy save Ace." But
I'll take care. Falling a bunch of Whitebeards there.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
You get to see where Luffy mouths off to Whitebeard.
Yeah. Because he blames him for Ace getting captured.
I'll be the one to save my brother.
Yeah.
Marco, don't let that kid die.
Yeah. And
you got it, boss.
Yeah, and we learn more about Ace. His mother, Portuguese de Rouge.
And that Ace's real father's Gold Roger.
Yeah, and during the flashback, Gold Roger was friends with Ericus. In this version, he'll still be voiced by Mark Hamill.
Not the Drake Bell version?
No, because I think that he will be older. Like,
okay.
In his 30s. And I believe he will sound like Luke. Would he sound like Luke here? Or original trilogy Luke? Or prequels Luke?
He might sound like Return of the Jedi Luke.
Yeah. And they became friends, and I could see Ericus having a wife. Once had a wife.
Yeah, I could see that.
And here's a twist.
Xehanort killed her?
What?
Xehanort killed her?
Yes, but it was after she gave birth to their child. You know who was their child?
Terra.
Yes. That's a twist. That'd be a good twist, wouldn't it? He was his real father the whole time.
Yeah, would make sense. And that Terra orchestrated, pretty much killed his own father. technically.
Yeah. But Terra doesn't know it yet. And then
Question: are we gonna have Tifa in these podcasts?
Tifa's still in Radiant Garden, isn't she?
Yeah, but I think we can work her in somewhere, maybe.
Maybe in Wano. Or
Maybe
or
Dress Rosa.
Yeah, Dressrosa. And here's a twist about it too in Dressrosa. Zack Fair is alive.
Oh my god!
And he's teaming up with Sabo.
Oh, so he's part of the Revolutionary.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting reunion for Cloud.
Yeah.
And maybe Cloud and Zack can team up against Sephiroth.
Yeah.
With Rosa.
Mm-hmm. And it has it's played out like the anime Sora and Luffy chasing
using his Conqueror's hockey again.
Yeah. And when they said, no, wait, he has it too?
That and the Keyblade kid too?
If a Keyblade builder has Conqueror's hockey, then we're doomed!
Doomed! We're doomed. Doomed!
That's not like... For some reason, that reminds me of Chunky Fitnster. And other villains show up like Moria, and Jinbei kick his ass like he did in the anime.
And Bo is fighting against the Marines.
Yeah. And in this one, she accepts Luffy's love for Nami. And then she since he doesn't, Luffy says, "Do we need the keys to Ace's handcuffs?"
My blade can open any lock.
And Sora says, "You know, I might keep a good point. We don't need the keys. Let's go get them."
I can see Sora summoning Leviathan to hold off Sengoku.
Yeah.
Thinking he goes that gold Buddha mode.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. And then he finds another summon.
Odin.
No, actually, we shouldn't use Odin since he's part of One Piece. How about Thor?
No. I mean, there's an actual summon called Odin, not the actual god.
I know. I was thinking, what would be a powerful Disney character again to use? We already used. How about Sora summons Genie again?
Yeah, Genie could work.
Yeah, Sora's. Hey, I got a good idea who could help. Then Genie comes out riding a motorcycle and says, and he said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, since he's Robin Williams. I know Robin Williams died by then, but we'll still use Genie. Then he said, "So what do you want me?" Then he turns into Rambo and shoots down all the Marines.
Rock and roll, dudes!
And Luffy says, "Oh, I love that Genie." Meanwhile, back at the Sephiroth versus Cloud. Yes. What do you want out of life, Cloud? What do you treasure the most? They expect
I take it from you.
Yeah, he doesn't say because he knows if he says Tifa, he will kill her. So it's none of your business, Sephiroth. And he slashes the floor, and he uses Omni Slash, and then
Yes,
Sephiroth.
didn't work.
What?
Didn't work.
Yep. And
We'll
Sephiroth.
meet again, Cloud. Till then, keep training. It just
Yeah,
disappears.
yeah. And he's an. Urgh. And then after that, Sora fights Vani. Sora gets and Luffy. We're almost there, and then they get confronted by Venus, and Venus takes
What
off his.
happened to you? Been on a workout program.
And Luffy asks, "Who is this guy?" And that's Venus. I told you about him. Remember? Oh yeah. Then he takes off his mask, and Luffy's like, Sora.
Luffy, I'm right here.
Well, why does he look like you?
Long story.
In fact, Genie broke the fourth wall, saying, "That's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell." Don't think, just accept.
Yeah.
Then what? Then they Sora says, "I got this. You rescue A."
Rescue your brother.
No, I need your Keyblade, Sora. We'll take him on together, okay? Right.
Unless we want to use the Mr. 3 angle that he's secretly there.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, he does. And he asks. They ask, why? Why would you stay at our side? Why would you be a good guy, Venus?
I'm made of darkness from Venti's heart.
But Xehanort is gone. You could change. I'll never change. I don't want to change. I want to
I'm
stay
having
evil.
too much fun.
Yeah, yeah. I just love making Venus evil. Just to,
Or more evil.
yeah. In fact, he's more evil than we'll make him more eviler than Xehanort.
Okay.
I know Xehanort was evil,
He's
but
like Green Goblin evil. Is that it?
yes.
With all the hamminess. Maybe.
Yeah. And of course, Haley Joel Osment gives his greatest laugh. and to avoid the elephant in the room, yes, I'm aware of Haley Joel Osment's problems, and
Yes, we are aware of his issue from 2 weeks ago.
and let's hope he moves past it. I accept his. I know I'm not Jewish, but and I
Let's just hope he gets the help he needs.
yes,
And it doesn't affect KH4, hopefully.
yeah, and if his apology is sincere, then I forgive him. And now let's get out of that way. Let's continue. What we? Oh yeah, the Sword versus Venus fight. It's like I said, it's Haley Joel Osment versus Haley Joel Osment. When he speak, Sora thinks I gotta think of a way how to beat it, and then Sora has a great idea. He brings out he changes his Keyblade into the Ultima Keyblade.
Ooh.
And then he has one of the longest combo attacks. and the Keyblade transforming. I don't know how. I never used the ultimate weapon in KH3, so I don't know how it works.
It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, let's just say it's a powerful ultimate weapon. Then it doesn't kill Vanitas just yet, but it sends him off.
I know it does big damage.
Yeah, and then after his defeat, he said, "Not bad, Sora."
But I'm far from done. And he just goes away too.
Yeah. And he said,
No,
"Sora."
let's go get your brother.
Yeah, and Sora and Luffy frees Ace, and he said, "Oh, Sora, good to see you again." And
Then they all fight together till Kainu shows up and mocks Whitebeard.
yeah, and during the fight, he said, "Hey, and Luffy, how's Nami doing?" And says, "Nami, she's doing great. What are you doing?" "Oh, nothing." Fine. Then Akainu shows up, and he
He
says,
mocks the Whitebeard crew and Ace. Run away like the coward, like your captain.
"And how does he
Ace,
feel
don't
about?"
listen to him.
Yeah, and he says, "What would he think about the Keyblade wielders?"
He thinks they're a menace.
Yeah, like King Triton used to.
Keyblade wielders ruining everything. You don't save anybody.
That's
Better
not
than
true.
using the hornless to hurt people.
Yeah,
Anything
Keyblade
for
wielders.
absolute justice. And that is what we stand for. This is not
Justice?
justice. This is not
Justice?
protection. It's fear,
You think
as
killing
Cap
it
would
is
say.
what is what? Who would
As
say?
Cap would say.
Yeah, so, but what Sora would say? Justice? You call killing innocent people you disagree with justice?
You destroyed Robin's home for them learning.
You're
How many people live in fear because of what you guys do?
what
No
they
different than what you pirates do.
no pirates didn't cause what the damage you've done. Especially, and you also ignored what Arlong's done in Kokoyashi Village. You knew Arlong took over Kokoyashi Village, yet you didn't do anything. And worst of all, you're using Heartless to kill innocent people. That that pisses me off more than anything.
Then we still get the scene where he goes after Luffy, but Ace jumps in the way.
Actually, yeah, this time he goes after Sora, but Ace jumps. And Luffy tries to jumps in the way, but Ace does it for. And he said, "Ace, why, why would you, sacrifice for me, Ace? I'm not your brother." "Wrong, Sora. You are my brother, since you are Luffy's brother."
We have the sake in Alabasta.
Yeah.
Then he says that heartfelt goodbye to Luffy.
Yeah. And he said, "Thank you for loving me, and Sora, take care of Kyrie."
Look after my idiot brother.
Yeah.
And Luffy has that mental breakdown.
What about Sora?
He'd probably compose himself enough.
And Jinbei saved both of them.
Then we get Whitebeard's final stand as he wrecks a Kainu.
Yeah, then he yells out, "The One Piece is real!"
Before Teach and his crew kill him.
Yeah.
And Teach taking his fruit.
Yeah. And when Sora sees it, I have a feeling he's going to be another thorn on our side. Besides Akainu and Vanitas and Sephiroth. And Cloud joins up with Jinbei and
Look, come on, we gotta go.
yeah, and they meet up with Law and
Like, this
Sora
story
begs,
over here.
yeah, and
There's
Law
also
saves,
Shanks shows up too.
yeah, and Sora meets Shanks for the first time and said, "Hmm,
You're Shanks. Luffy's told me about a lot about you.
you must be Sora. I seen your wanted poster, and can you give this to him? It was his straw hat that he lost."
Yeah.
I said, "I would give it to my brother," and he said, "Thanks and thank you for being there for Luffy." And he said, Luffy's and Shanks said he's gonna need you now more than ever, especially since they looked out on Ace. And Sora cries. And said, yes, thank you, Shanks. And then they make it to Law, and he operates on Luffy.
Then
Meanwhile, back at um uh,
the whole world reels at what happened at Marineford.
yeah, yeah,
Then several days go by, and the crew finds out about Ace.
yeah, and when Nami finds out, she, she cried. What's wrong, Nami? Look, it's Luffy. He, he, he needs us now. Ace is gone. You mean his brother? Yes. I need him. I, Mickey, we gotta get to Luffy and Sora. Luffy needs me now. What do you mean you? Then he realized, Nami, have you?
Wait, why is Mickey there?
And I mean, Donald. I forgot he was
Mickey's
with
with
Zoro.
Zoro.
Let's let me try that again. We gotta get to there. We gotta get to the Luffy needs me now. Wait, what do you mean now? Like,
Oh, I see.
then he said, "Yeah, you're right. Let's go." They try to find a way.
Flee, but they can't.
Yeah, and they asked Merlin why.
Sorry, but this is something you all have to. But the winds are turning now. You need to train. Don't worry, Luffy will be fine.
Yeah, he has Sora with him. I know, but I want to be there. But she wants to be there for him.
Then
We want,
we get to Mihawk telling Zoro and Mickey what happened.
yeah. Mickey doesn't know about Ace. Doesn't know Ace though.
You guys know
And
where Luffy's
and
having his breakdown, and Jinbei has to knock some sense into him.
yeah, and Sora does too. Sora's Luffy, look at me. Do you want to be king of the pirates? Yes. You're not going to be that if you keep on moping forever. Ace would have wanted you to move on. Besides, you still had me. You had Nami. You had the crew. Like Nami, I don't try to fool me, Luffy. I know you're stupid, but you're not that stupid. You love her. I know it. But then he looks at Sora and said, "Yeah, you're right." Then he's then he thinks we're not ready. What? We're not ready to go to the new world just yet. We need training, Sora.
And Cloud would stay to offer to train Sora and well as Rayleigh too.
Yeah.
But first, they have to go back to Marineford and let the others know the message.
Yep. And then we hear the we are as they get the training. And Nami asks, "Well, I better get practice my Keyblade training." With and who would train Kairi was Robin.
Koala, Hack, and Sabo.
Yeah.
Because
But
Kyrie can learn hockey there and Fishman karate.
And Kairi Kairi would be friends with Koala there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyrie would learn a lot from like Keyblades and combat and all three forms of hockey.
Yeah. And then she talks to Dragon and she asks, "Can you tell me about Luffy's mother?"
There's not really much to say.
Person, my
Translation, we know nothing, so we can't really say.
Yeah. I have a headcanon that she's dead.
There's theories that she might have been a celestial dragon.
Yeah. During those training, Cloud sings, "Let's get down to business."
I don't see Steve Burton saying that.
No, but Donny Osmond would be his singing voice.
Shit, Cloud doesn't really show emotion like that, so I don't really see it still.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's not his character. What about Ray? No, Rayleigh wouldn't either.
I think that'd be too ridiculous even for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sora would like train extensively in his hockey, all three versions.
Yep.
More so than Luffy would.
Yeah. And Kairi asks, "How do you know?" Kairi asks Sabo, "How do you know Luffy?" Because he's my
brother.
Wait, he has another brother?
Luffy and I were kids. We had a cup of sake, which made us brothers.
That's what happened with him, Sora, and Ace.
Ace and Alabasta. Huh, really?
And then he said, "So that makes Sora my brother."
You couldn't ask for a better one. You think Sabo would tell Kairi not to mention Sabo to Luffy and the others when they meet again?
Yes.
Because Robin never mentioned it.
Yeah. And Kairi is very good at keeping secrets. And then 2 years passed.
Where Kairi got smoking hot like Robin with the longer hair.
Yeah.
Isn't scared to show off her assets.
Yep. And 2 years pass, and Luffy retrieves a straw hat as Hancock takes him back to Sabaody.
Or Sora and Cloud were already there, so they left with Rayleigh.
Yeah. And, Cloud talks with Rayleigh, and Sora comes in, and he's about 6 foot tall. Actually, even the same height as, how tall is Luffy?
I don't know.
I'll check to see. He's 5'8". Sora will be 5'9".
He's a lot more built now too, Sora, like Captain America.
Yeah, and then he said, well, Sora, you're all trained up. Are you ready to go to? Are you ready to go to Fishman to reunite with the others?" He said. I looked at at the at the um at the Lucky Charm, and he says, "I'm more than ready." And we finally see his face. He's grown a beard, and he looks muscular.
He's Infinity War Cap, is what he is.
Yep. Do you think that's the best Cap?
Yes,
Me too.
just not the hair. He doesn't have the slicked back hair.
Nope. He still has the spiky hair. Mickey. Well, the Disney characters stay the same. Sanji. Sanji says, "Oh, thank you. I'm I'm back to fighting beautiful women.
Women,
Real."
women. It's been so long. So
I know
Bonnie being like her normal outfit, where she has something more Kingdom Hearts like on.
Kingdom Hearts like. We see we see her. Meanwhile, we go to a bar, and we we see the fake Straw Hats, and they suddenly get sit with a really beautiful woman with long hair. And how would you describe her her clothing?
I'm not sure.
Would she have a yellow? Would she have a yellow torso or white torso with green pants? But she still
Maybe.
has her. But she still has her long hair.
I guess I'm not really sure what kind of outfit she'd be wearing.
Yeah, and one of them threatens her, and she brings out her keyblade. She whips the fake Straw Hats into a bloody pulp.
That means Usopp.
Yeah. That they all hug each other and say, "Hey!" And Donald finally sees Goofy, and they hug each other. "Oh, I missed you. You'll."
As his Sora made his way here. Meanwhile, Frankie gets back to the Sunny and sees Kuma guarding it.
Yeah.
Kyrie is with Robin.
And he said, "Whoa, look at you, Kyrie." She's, of course, she still has
Sure
her.
Robin would have seen Kyrie grow more beautiful like her.
Yeah. And Robin says, Sora's gonna love seeing you like
Especially
this.
that chest of yours.
And then she
She's
said,
got same size boobs as Robin has.
"Yeah." And then she said, "Yep, so is Sanji." And, that scene when Chopper thought it was he meet the fake meet when Chopper meets the fake Straw Hats.
Yeah.
That happens.
With the fake Robin getting bitten by the fake him.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, why aren't you talking to me? Yeah, Chopper can be an idiot sometimes.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the fake. I believe next is the fake Luffy.
The fake Luffy ran to the real Luffy and got knocked out by his Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah. And he said, "I hope I see. I wonder where Sora is." And then he sees someone with spiky hair, and he says, "Hey, Sora!" And then he turns around and said, "Oh, sorry, my mistake. You're not Sora." "What are you talking about? Of course I'm Sora." "No, Sora has grown a beard." What?
Look, he's more built than that. You're a string bean.
I'll show you. Then he said, then he said, the real sword, I would have a tough time against him.
I would know. We trained together.
And then I believe um, Zoro shows up derailing Cloud.
Yeah, before wandering off on his own.
Yeah, and he says, "Oh, hey, Sora.
That
Hey,
wasn't
nice."
my ship.
Then he says, "Nice beard. Thank you. You think Kyrie will like it?"
She might. Now, another fight that'd be cool is Sora versus Zoro.
Yeah, they spar against each other. Would it be like one of those heads I win until you lose fight, or just Sora wins?
I see it's more of a draw.
Yeah,
Maybe Sora should help Zoro fight King and Wano.
yeah.
Oh, dinosaurs! I'm guessing that's where Nami meets up with Chopper and finds out about the fake. They were just fake straw hats.
Yeah, and then she said, "Chomper, you're an idiot."
And I guess they meet Kyrie and Robin back at the Sunny.
Yeah, and of course, Kyrie and Nami hugs, and Nami says, "I got a surprise for you, Kyrie." What? And she holds out her hand and reveals her key. And she said, "Oh." And then
Oh,
she said,
Nami, that's amazing!
"We're Keyblade sisters." I know. Then she said, "Have you?
Also, look at you, Kyrie. You're looking stunning.
You think Sora will like it?"
Oh, he'll
I
be
know.
all over you.
And she said, "And I know someone who will be all over you. You don't mean Sanji, do you?"
No.
No, no. You don't mean yes. You, are you? Then she said, Kyrie. Then she says, "I can read your heart. You love him." Yeah, I know, but how am I gonna tell? I'll help you find a way.
You know, Zoro and Sanji are fighting, trying to get back to the ship while their egos are clashing.
Yeah, would Sora join? Would Sora join up with them?
Maybe, or Cloud does.
Yeah. And Sora said, "I'm gonna." He's gonna go look for Luffy.
As he starts in the Cloud, watch Zoro. He has to get lost a lot.
Yeah.
Shouldn't your friend Mickey be with him?
Oh, Mickey's just Mickey's at the just getting some potions and supplies. Then Sora said, "Hey, Sora! Oh, Your Majesty!"
Whoa,
Then
look at you. 2 years have been kind to you.
thank you. Um, I look like I'm 5 years older, don't I?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't changed at all, Your Majesty. I guess not.
Then he said, "Oh, by the way, Cloud is joining us." Oh, that's
Isn't that
swell.
more Luffy's call?
Yeah, Luffy. Yeah, you're
Luffy already accepted him as a member.
right.
He's
You're
going to
right.
announce it at the Sunny.
Okay. And then Luffy sees that the fakes are fighting, and then he said, screw this.
Like, wait, because a fake movie's announcing something and trying to recruit members.
Yeah. And
But then Zoro, Sanji, and Cloud and Sora show up and show their new skills in fighting the pacifistas.
yeah. And then they prepare the exit. They see Luffy. They meet Luffy again. And then Luffy yells out the railings, "Thank you for everything!"
Then everybody else who's helped the Straw Hats throughout the 2 years help them distract the Marines.
Yeah.
As they all make it back to the Sunny.
And when Sora sees Frankie first, hey, and Brooke. What about? Oh, we forgot about Brooke.
We heard he was having a concert in the park somewhere. But I'm sure he's on his way.
And he announced, "I am about to join Straw Hat Luffy, who will be king of the pirates, and Sora, he will be Keyblade Master." And then they finally join up, and then he finally shows up at the Sunny and says, Kyrie, Nami, Robin, it's a pleasure to see you. And Kyrie, may I see your panty? Then she punches Brooke and get as if
You haven't changed at all, have you, Brooke? Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Then Sanji said, "Oh, Nami's Robin, Kyrie's one." You look beautiful, especially you, Kyrie. Then he fell upon it and said, "Yep, you're still the same old Sanji." And Kyrie looks up and when she sees Sora for the first time, her heart beat faster. And she hugs him, and she said, "This is
Love the
real."
beard.
You like it? And she asked, "Do you like my new appeal?" You kidding? You look more beautiful than you ever had. You
It's
know,
like push her boobs up towards him to show them off.
yeah.
Should he propose here or no?
Actually, yeah, he does. He says, "Kyrie, I've been wanting to. I this may not be a good time to ask, but screw it, I'm doing it anyway." He gets on his knee, and everyone. Then Sanji looks up. Gasp.
No!
He said, "Will you marry me?" I know I should. I didn't. I know I should have had this speech, but I couldn't think of one. So it's simple. I'd make it simple and clean. So what do you say, Kyrie? Will ya? Yes. Yes. And they say, "Woohoo!" And then Luffy finally sees Nami and is like, "Oh," and feels blush, and Nami blushes around Luffy. So you
And John's like, I lose both Nami and Kyrie at the same day.
Actually, Luffy doesn't propose because she's not his girlfriend yet.
I know, but I think he can tell that the two of them.
Yeah, and Sanji sees it and he says, "Oh well, at least I have Robin."
Get real.
And then and Boa Hancock winks at, gives a final wink to Luffy, and Nami looked at her with a stink eye.
Oh,
And
right, yeah. I forgot. I want you to introduce our newest crew member. Meet Cloud Strife.
of course, they remember him from Alabasta. Cloud! Hey, Donald, Goofy. It's good to see you guys. Then they give each other a hug. And then, okay, Captain, where are we off to? To Fishman Island.
And I hope in no way will we get sidetracked by an alien pile of alien goo.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, was probably my favorite podcast we ever did. Because
It was.
let's face it, the Venom arc was fun.
It was.
And I'm gonna include it in my fanfic.
Are you gonna have the part where Nardo resists the symbiote and sees Peter's memories about it?
Yeah, I'll include that.
Because I feel like it's needed to have him get rid of it like Peter did.
Yeah.
At
And
least do it from like the 90 series in Spectacular.
yeah, and as funny as it is, I probably won't include the Batman Superman scene.
What was that? Naruto was just did a Saturday Night Fever jig across our window. I know, but why?
I How about we should have? How about this? Before we see a flashback and said, "Man, I had great memories in that place, especially that one bar, especially that one cafe." We see a flashback of him visiting cafe and said, and then he sees Batman and Superman, and he sits down with us. So, I heard you're a hero. How do you know that? Because I'm Batman.
Do not ask him why.
Okay.
Never mind. I already know what you're gonna say. Batman doesn't have a beard.
I love that nostalgia critic scene.
That was genius.
Yeah. You should do more
Remember
cross.
what it was like for the cafe to allow those two to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. I heard rumors that Nicolas Cage knows about him.
You're the critic?
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
wonder what he thought of his Nicolas Cage month.
I bet he laughed his ass. I bet Matthew Broderick would hate him so much for bashing his movies.
Well, you make bad movies, you're gonna get bashed.
Yeah, and he's also a terrible actor.
The only role I can take him seriously in is Simba.
Yep. Well, this is interesting. I don't know if it is or not. Fantastic Four won't be an origin story. Set 4 years after they become superheroes.
I imagine they'd show flashbacks of them getting their powers.
Yeah.
I know
I don't
the
mind
trailers,
it.
they already have Ben as the Thing, so.
Yeah, because people are tired of origin stories.
Guys, we already know their origin, like we know Spider-Man's origin.
Yeah.
Tony.
As they leave for Fishman Island. And that was fun.
Considering we just condensed like a couple hundred episodes into like 2 hours.
Yeah. 'Cause we had to skip through some.
I mean, most of it isn't really, considering how long Impel Down dragged out. We basically
Yeah.
did cliff notes.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about we'll do fish. We might do Fishman Island next week.
All right.
Although I may change my mind. I want to do Power Rangers.
Would we do like multiple of those, or we just because of like doing like 6 seasons in one go sounds hard.
We'll do. I don't know. I'll believe that when I see it.
What?
Star Wars is finally making a Return of the Jedi sequel, and it's everything the original fans wanted in the 80s.
Press X to doubt with Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that's why I said I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, mate. Okay, the media does not know what fans actually want.
Yeah. Or Shark Guys.
Which is why I can't wait for a lot of these places to die out since they don't do their jobs right.
Yeah. And you know, during the 2 years, Sora and Cloud would had their mentor and teacher moment.
Should he get the Finrare Keyblade from Cloud here?
Yep.
Because that is a cool looking Keyblade.
Yep.
You think it's like stronger than the Ultima weapon?
Yeah, I think so too.
Better than Metal Chocobo, that's for sure.
She did. Yeah, I thought that was
I
bland.
never used it. It looked dumb and it had bad stats.
At least the Olympus one, it was cool.
Yeah, that one had a good balance of stats.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to finish KH2 this weekend before I go to my grandmother's. I'm going to my grandmother's again.
Do anything for Mother's Day next week?
I don't know. What about you?
I'm going to take my mom to Longhorn, Texas Roadhouse.
I love Texas Roadhouse. Usually we meet my papa there for because he loves Texas Roadhouse as well. I love their steak. How do you like?
They have good food.
Yeah, how do you like your steak?
Well done. I don't like any blood in it.
Yeah, I like mine medium rare.
Or as I call it, burnt to shit.
Well, Hank Hill won't like it because he doesn't like people. He doesn't like steaks well done. I can't believe they're bringing back King of the Hill.
I never was into that show.
Yeah, me neither. I thought it was just kind of boring. At least The Simpsons had the funniest moments.
Yeah. Pockets.
Huh.
I gotta get back to that. The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. Last night I watched the episode where Krusty runs for Congress.
That was a good one.
You know, it's sad that I trust him more than I trust real life politicians.
Yeah.
But let's not dwell on that.
That was a funny parody of the Congress system.
Yeah.
Like, wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Airplane rerouting bill. Paperclip.
Yeah. I just read what Harrison Ford one time said after finding out that Tim Burton considered him for his Batman movies. He said, "Oh shit, I could have had a career."
You had a career.
I don't buy him as Batman. Do you?
No, I don't.
No. Keaton was the right fit.
Yeah. I believe 4 is more Commissioner Gordon than Batman.
So do I. What about a Batman villain?
Who would even fit him?
Harvey Dent?
I could kind of see him as Two-Face. At least not the Jones version.
Yeah. Every time I see people say Batman Forever was a good movie, I show them the Harvey Tommy Lee Jones Two Face.
It's not bad. It's just like, eh.
It's not the like I said, it's not the worst.
It has
It's
its moments of good, but it's kind of like a mixed bag.
yeah. Kilmer was okay, but he is
I mean, he wasn't going to do anything better than Keaton, let's be honest.
yeah.
I mean, I kind of wish Keaton was in Batman in all 4 movies, so.
Would he even saved Batman and Robin?
He'd make it less awful.
Yeah.
Because I feel he could do the material as better than Clooney could.
Yeah. Of course, my mom likes George Clooney as Batman because you know how women are with George Clooney.
I don't see him as Batman. I see him in more of his other roles being believable, like Seth Gecko.
Yeah. I think Batman and Leatherheads are the only 2 movies I've seen George Clooney in.
I've seen him in a few outside Spy Kids.
Yeah. I thought Spy Kids 1 was good, but Spy Kids 2 and 3 sucked. Never
2
saw
was,
4.
I feel, was okay. 3 was just like, I don't even know what that was.
I thought it was Stallone.
I don't know. Stallone just was not a convincing villain.
That
Am I insane? Completely.
was the only funny scene. Stallone was the main reason I wanted to see that movie. I remember watching Rocky all summer, and then Stallone was in Spy Kids 3.
Plus, it had that stupid 3D effect gimmick.
Yeah.
And a pointless Elijah Wood cameo.
Yeah. You know, I could buy, if he was younger, him playing Sora.
Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
It could have worked. But by 2002, I think he was way too old to be Sora.
Yeah, I know. If he was younger, I
Plus,
mean.
he was already wrapping up Lord of the Rings, so.
Yeah.
I just don't trust a Kingdom Hearts show, like, at all.
I don't either.
Especially if it's from Netflix.
Yeah.
Because they are not going to do it justice.
How come One Piece is okay? One Piece is good, but that's because Oda is part of the writing staff.
Oda at least has to approve of their decisions.
Yeah.
Nomura is not going to be involved in this. I don't see it.
No. The only one I can trust in writing, I don't trust anybody right now to make a Kingdom Hearts show good, unless Nomura, I don't know, asks us.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, and if I was in charge of a Kingdom Hearts show, I make them have arcs like an anime.
Could you? The thing is, would you be able to tell a whole story in 8 episodes?
Yeah,
Could you? I think you're gonna need more time.
Yeah, we can make more episodes.
I don't know if it's the requirement for Netflix that it can only be 8 episodes a season.
True. I was more thinking on Disney, on ABC, or or
Freeform.
if it was in 2004, Disney Channel, or
Yeah.
would it be on Toon Disney?
Toon Disney probably.
Yeah. Although, imagine a Kim Possible crossover.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I doubt Kim would flirt with Sora.
Though I can imagine a fight with Shigo being amazing.
Yeah. With Sora being in Middleton High,
Probably. He'd be
imagine.
around the same age as Kim, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I could see Body flirting with him. And Kim said, "Forget it, girl. He's Kyrie's." Hmm.
Think a Naruto Star Wars podcast would be good.
Yeah, well, yeah. He be a Skywalker?
Maybe we do something original, like have him go to the Star Wars universe with Sakura,
Yeah, we could do that.
where they become Jedi.
Yeah,
But would he start in like episode 1 and then go to 6?
yeah,
I see Naruto breaking the rules like Anakin.
yeah. And and he and Sakura marry. Oh, he won't turn in the dark side.
No. And they'd have Sheen at the end of Cage episode 3.
Yeah, wouldn't Naruto and Sakura die?
No.
Yeah,
I can see them being helping the rebellion.
yeah,
So we'd see a grown up Sheena and Hanami.
yeah. Go to Hanami.
But we will not do the 7, 8, or 9.
Nope, the bad Star Wars.
I can see Sakura having a green lightsaber.
Yeah, and Naruto will be yellow. No, that's
Or blue.
yeah, blue.
Because they might cross over with like the Fallen Order series.
Yeah, we could do that. Cal Kestis. Imagine Naruto's relationship with Ahsoka.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You
You know
probably
they're
say
gonna
to everyone that the Jedi's views are flawed.
Yeah.
It's what led to their downfall.
Yeah, and they said, "This is all your fault." I
And
know
the apprentice is now Vader and a Sith.
Yeah. I know another good podcast we could do. Naruto is Happy Gilmore. Would it work?
It might.
Sasuke would be Shooter McGavin.
Of course. Oh, because you're black? Hell no.
You eat piece of shit for breakfast? No.
Let You know they're making a
Look,
second one of that movie?
yeah, I might watch it,
I
but I
don't
don't just.
know. I feel like
But
it's been too long.
yeah, not to mention Adam Sandler hasn't. Well, he's made a couple good movies since then, but he hasn't made a good movie since Click.
Is he even funny anymore?
No, and it
Who
would
would
be
be Bob Barker in this scenario?
good question.
Because we gotta have the Bob Barker beatdown.
Yeah. Um, I was thinking who would be good fictional game show host.
I mean, that's old.
Yeah,
Are we going like as old as Bob Barker or like somewhat old?
someone old.
How about Rob Lowe?
Yeah, I like Rob Lowe.
I think Nick Cannon's too young for that.
Yeah, I remember Nick Cannon on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
He was
before he
he was
started
in
having 20 million kids.
what?
Before he started having 20 million kids.
Yeah. In fact, I remember he was in the worst season of all that. No, actually, no, he wasn't. He was in the worst season was when they rebooted the show.
Wasn't that bad in the early 2000s.
Yeah, one of them was Jack DeSena.
Yeah.
Who was Sokka. And I'm glad it was. They were gonna have Sokka be a stick in the mud, but Jack DeSena improvised his lines, and they decided to have him make him the clown who we all know and love.
Cool. You know, I think I'm done for now. See you next week.
Yeah, okay, we'll do Fishman Island next week. But I may change my mind.
Okay.
Bye.